Secretary Scott Turner joins us now. This is to highlight the absolute necessity of putting the work requirements in, and the House sped them up so they kick in at the end of 2026.
That's right. Yes, and David, it's so great to be with you. You know, this is a bipartisan issue historically. It started in 1996 with welfare reform, where 78 senators, including then Senator Joe Biden, were for work requirements. And at HUD, you know, we're like, look, work restores dignity. It restores pride. And at HUD, when you talk about the time limits, 2 years for those that are receiving HUD funds. Government subsidies, you all know, were never meant to be a hammock, but a trampoline to help people to, you know, you get up, you have a hand up, but not you have a hand out, but not a hand up. And so when you think about 2 years and then, hey, it's time to go to work, right? So the trajectory of your life changes.
You know, we've gone from workfare, your reference to that program in the 90s, to lawfare against the department, against the government, the Trump administration, to try and stop this. The ACLU and other groups coming up. I mean, the numbers are clear. Right. We just laid out the numbers. I think the average American people get this. They don't want to get it at all, do they?
They don't. And you know, at HUD, we recognize 50% of households that receive HUD funding. So 50%, not one member of that household works. In New York City, where we are right now, the average amount of years that someone stays in public housing is 20 years. And that's a paradigm that we want to change in America. It's a culture shift. People, when you work, it incentivizes those that are coming behind you to work. Generationally, if young people see their parents not working, but just going to the mailbox on the 1st and the 15th of the month, you know, for 20, 30 years, that child is not going to be incentivized to work. And so, David and Dave, this is a complete culture change and shift. And so I'm looking forward to the new process coming alive.
One thing that the Republicans in the House were not able to change because it was just too heavy a lift, Congressman Chip Roy really pushed for this, couldn't make it happen, is that under the Obamacare Medicaid expansion, the states, for every dollar a state spends on Medicaid, they get $9 from the federal government. And for the very disabled, the needy, pregnant women, elderly people, they get $1.33 from the federal government for every dollar. And that is how we are compassionate individuals, all of us. We're a benevolent society, but we don't, but again, the people in need are the ones who are not being supported, and it's the people who are literally playing video games in a recliner every day who get more money.
Exactly.
And it's that way in housing.
Exactly. You think about people that come against this, but it's common sense compassion. Common sense says that if you are able-bodied, if you are able-minded, you need to work, and particularly if you're receiving government subsidies. And so again, historically, both Republicans and Democrats have been for this, and I think the time is now, the season is now to implement work requirements, to implement, you know, time limits, to help the American people to change the trajectory of their lives, and particularly, David, those that are on government subsidies.
Absolutely, and your point about generational, that happened in your first round. It's great to have you in that seat now at the top of the ticket, as they say.